Good evening, and I hope that you have made an awesome day. As always, keeping every one of my brothers and sisters in prayer. And we're going to get right into this tonight. We're going to talk about my last two videos. Okay, the last couple of videos I've done. One in particular, well, both of them, Freemasonry, the Big Lie. We're going to discuss those two videos. And we're going to talk about some topics that most of us, I don't think, really put any energy into really looking at it and for ourselves. So we're going to put some energy into that tonight. So if you want to give a call, that number is going to be 619-286-0642. It's the call-in number tonight. As long as I'm live streaming, that number is available unless I give you another number. But tonight, the number is going to be 619-286-0642. That's the call-in number tonight. And I'm looking at having an awesome show. And like I said, we're going to be talking about those two videos I did. Freemasonry, the Big Lie. Now tonight I have on topic is also Scottish Rite Masonry, which is also another big lie. And the reason I say that is because in my own research, in my own reading, those things was manufactured and stolen. They were. You can say whatever you want to say. They were stolen and manufactured. That's the truth. When you do your own research, I guarantee you that's the conclusion that you're going to come up with. And that's going to be the conclusion. I know that. And we're going to get right into it because it's crazy. It is crazy. God, excuse me just a second. I'll be right back. I'm back. I apologize for that. You know, that's the thing about live streaming. You got to make sure you have everything you need. So greetings to everyone who's coming on, and I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. To all the brothers of the craft, sisters of the Order of the Eastern Star. Greetings. So we're going to talk about those two videos I've done. And I don't know if you've seen them or not. It's called the Freemasonry, the Big Lie. And all of the degrees that most of us have in this thing we call Freemasonry, New York Rite are manufactured degrees. It is clear to say that those degrees, for most of us know that they were stolen, manufactured, redone, and given back to us. Just like somebody eats some food, and then you throw it up and give it back and let the dogs eat it. That's what happens. Those degrees, if you've done your own research, you know that those degrees are from what I would call the ancient customs, and I'm only speaking of that continent of Africa. You can see it. You can see the writings on the wall. If you understand it, if you look at the hieroglyphics, it's all there. The only thing was that they took them and they remanufactured them through religion. Hear what I just said. They took those degrees, okay? They took the writings, remanufactured those degrees, those writings through religion and gave them to you in a fraternal order. That's what they did. It's truth. And I'm going to tell you, because it's in, they wrote, this is what they're saying. This is not anything that I'm personally saying. So tonight, if you want to call in and have that discussion, that number is 619-286-0642, and we can have that conversation. But I'm telling you what I've read. I can tell you where to go and get it. If you really want to start off something, first you get the Scottish Rite Volume number 1. you're going to kick it off, and you're going to start on page, let's see. It's called the introduction. Start on the introduction. Scottish Rite Volume 1. And you begin to read that. This gives you the breakdown of Freemasonry and the Scottish Rite. It gives you the whole story, the whole pictures, stuff nobody else tells you. Okay? It gives you that. The ideal is most of us may already have this book but never read it. We looked at the degree work in it and said, wow, this is unique, this is different. And we were satisfied with what we've seen. But yet we didn't go back and read the footnotes. We didn't go back and read the small stuff in small print, because they tell you where to go research this stuff at in this book. They tell you where to find it at. And then when you go find it, you have that aha moment, like, damn, you know? So it's truth, man. Let me tell you. So we are practicing, when you say Scottish Rite, York Rite, Freemason, we are practicing something that was beautiful, but now it is corrupt. And when I say corrupt, it's just like a language that was once pure, but because of the different words that is coming to the language, they all have double meaning. Like the word gay. When I was coming up, the word gay meant that you was happy, you was cool dude, you was all right. But now you call somebody gay, it's fighting words, man, you know. So it's those type of things that has happened to this esoteric thing. I mean, the book I got called The Mystery of Jesus. The mystical Jesus, and the things that at that time and date that was practiced amongst the priests, unknowing to those that they was teaching. So, it's unique. So we're going to kick this thing off real quick. I'm just going to share some information with you. First of all, Freemasonry has been involved in every war. It has. We're going to start off with the Civil War. Here in these United States, you can also chalk it up for the revolution that happened in England. Freemason was involved with that too. And the more you dig, the more you go down that rabbit hole, the more information you find, you will be astonished of why people say what they say in regards to Freemasonry. And I'm a Freemason. And like one brother said, hey brother, I like the information you kick out. If you would just get legitimate, I can get with that. I'm like, oh my God, really? He actually posted that. I'm cool, but that was funny. So we're going to take a look at Charles I, all right? Greetings to everybody who's come along. Brother Malcolm Prophet, greetings, Brother Hawkins. I am inspired by your research. I have been doing research on the Scottish Rite Freemason for my family and in part from it. Okay, great. Brother Hawkins, can you send me the link or text me regarding to purchase that jacket we discussed? Oh, okay. Just so you know, I lost all my contacts in my phone when I was rebooting it. So if I once had your information, I probably don't have it anymore. So if you want to send me a text, that'd be great. I appreciate it. So we're going to get right into this tonight. So we're going to kick this off. First of all, we're going to talk about the first 3 degrees and how they became into being. Now, if you watch those first 2 videos, we got into a pretty light, okay? We did. We got into it pretty light. So we're going to touch upon the first 3 degrees, that inter-apprentice, that fellowcraft, and that master mason. We're going to look at how it came to be that England, as we know it today, took it over. Took it over, claimed it, the whole thing. So it all started like this. And you know the routine. You know already. You can already say 1717. We got that. We all have that understanding. We all know that they was drinking and having a good time. And after that, in June, and after that, okay, in the 24th of June, they formed the first Grand Lodge. Now, after they have formed the first Grand Lodge, this is what they did. They assumed power to charter, to tax, and govern the Masons of the world. Period. That's what they did. When they organized themselves into this so-called First Grand Lodge, their thing was to, okay, charter and tax and govern every Mason of the world. This is why some, not all, this is why some call them the Mother Grand Lodge. For those who feel that they need them to be legitimate, this is what they call them. They call them the Mother Grand Lodge. Okay? So, upon finding this information out, I said, okay, let's see what else they're going to say. They said that once they did that, they declared everyone else irregular. That's what they did. After they assumed power, organized themselves into a Grand Lodge, they said that if you didn't get your stuff from us, you're irregular. We don't even want to bother with you. Okay? They wanted to tax and govern every Masonic lodge in the world. And they almost to do it, because most jurisdictions feel that if you're not recognized by the Grand Lodge of England, then you are irregular. Okay? That's how they feel. That's a fact. Ask the Prince Hall brother. You know the ones. I don't have to call no names. You already know the ones that feels that way. So greetings to everybody who's coming on tonight. Got on a little late. So as they began to tax and govern every Masonic lodge around the world, okay, this is what they did. Okay, now they declared that every other lodge or every lodge that did not get a charter from them to be irregular, right? Now, as they could withdraw, if they gave you a charter, they can withdraw the charter if you don't pay your monies, right? That was the thing to get, that was the get-go, all right? Then what they was doing was, after they chartered all the Masonic lodges, they taxed them, okay? That's how they was doing it. And then they did it so well to Freemasonry, okay, it spread into France, Ireland, Germany, Switzerland, the United States, Belgium, Holland, Spain, Portugal, Turkey, Asia, African, New Holland, and a few years later, it has spread throughout Christendom. Okay? It even had penetrated Christendom. All right? So this is why a lot of people look at Freemason with the left eye, you know, just because of that. Some people read and they find out for themselves that they go, oh, no, you know. And I've done the same thing, but I love the craft, though. I enjoy the craft. I ain't gonna lie. I enjoy the craft. You know, I just do. I enjoy the fellowship. I enjoy the brotherhood. I enjoy all that I can learn from it and get out of it and then give it back. That's what I like about the craft, okay? So, in saying that, now we know. So when other Grand Lodges spur up and you want to call them irregular and clandestine, that's where it comes from. Okay? A Grand Lodge, when it comes to life, assumes power. That's what it does. It assumes that power. Now, you can say that they're clandestine or they're bogus all you want to, but they're just as legitimate as any other Grand Lodge on the face of the planet. Cut and dry. You can say what you want to say about them. Okay? Iron sharpens iron. Many don't give back as much as you do. Well, you know what, bro? I can't, like I said, I can't take this information with me. What is it going to do? Just sit? No, I'm giving it back. You know, and this is why I tell people also, go read it for yourself. If you think I'm lying to you, go read it for yourself and then come back and holler at me and we can have a nice conversation, you know. And that's how it should be. All right. Very true. The membership gives that grand body power. Absolutely. So now let's look at this thing we call Scottish Rite. That's that thing called Scottish Rite. Yeah, we're going to take a look at that. Because the Scottish Rites, as quiet as it's kept, what do they call mystical or mystical degrees. And I say that because, as I said before, when you look at Freemasonry and the signs and the symbols, and if you go through the degrees, just take your time one day and just read some of the degree work. It's all mystical, okay? It is all mystical, all right? It is to enlighten you. It is to illuminate you, all right? That's what it's supposed to do. However, most of us don't take the opportunity to go and read it. Once we get the 30-second, we don't go back and read a lot of that stuff. We don't. We take the obligations. We're great. We become an Elu. We become a companion. All sorts of names. A Knights of Malta, Knights of Kadash, East of the West, Knights of the Serpent, Master Nine, all of that. We become all of that, but never go back and read these degrees and the footnotes because they will scare you. Because you be like, damn, what did I say? Damn, is all this in there? Yes, all of that is in there. They're mystical degrees. This is why the brothers who are Moors, and they have a little masonry with it, they cross that. Anybody can correct me if I'm wrong. Brothers who are Moors of Moorish rites, they cross Moors with Freemasonry. All right, it's their system. It's their system. It's theirs. Okay? So to call that system clandestine, you don't know what you're talking about. You really don't. It's their system. All sides of the ladder were created for more activity for men. You can't tell the founder needed more social time because it built upon the first 3 degrees. That's why there is nothing greater. I will agree with that. I will agree with that. This is why it's important when you are in the fellowcraft degree, for you look at everything that the fellowcraft degree has to offer, because once you have mastered, or once you have become proficient in that 2nd degree, that 3rd degree is a handover, baby. It is. Now you may find some troubles in that 3rd degree, but it's a handover, because you've done it all in the 2nd degree. You really have. So as we get into this thing, you will find out that it all started in 1649 with Charles I being beheaded. It all started off with him, okay, according to their writings. But we know it goes back farther than that, because we do know that Kemet, some of the mystery schools that was over and on the continent of Africa, which is not really its name, as we all know, but over on that continent, we know that everybody and everything, I've said it before, had to go through Egypt. Everything and everybody. It was what it was. It was great, okay? Everything went through Egypt. You can't separate Egypt from Africa. You can't. And I don't even think that's the correct name for it, but you know what I'm talking about. And the more information I find out and the more I dig, the more I shake my head. I shake my head because people is like sheep, and they don't go do their own research. Now, if somebody gave me, I would tell you this here, and I give them a shout out. I don't even care. John Harrison, I give him a shout out. The brother has an awesome book. He does. Let the truth be told. He does. And the brother know his work. I can't take nothing from him. Do I agree with everything he says? No. Does he agree with everything I say? No. Hell, he may not agree with anything I say. But that's all right too. I'm just saying that there's information out there. You have to go research it and come to your own conclusion based upon what you have. And you got to have both sides. When you are doing research, you got to have both sides. You just can't come looking at it from one point of view. Hello.
Hello, brother Tony.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Freemason Unlock, you have to text me your phone number, man, because I've lost information. So go ahead, talk to me.
Yeah, I know. I heard you say that earlier.
All right, go ahead, talk to me.
Nah, I really enjoyed the last 2 episodes that you uploaded. Pertaining to the Scottish, right? So I know that this episode is dealing with the Scottish, right?
Well, not only does it deal with the Scottish Rite, my brother, it's dealing with both of those, the Scottish Rite and Freemasonry. As one brother put it, upon the inner apprentice and fellowcraft of Master Mason, everything sits. And that's true. But when you find out that that was a lie, okay, as far as how it came into be, as far as the Grand Lodge setting, and then you find out that the Scottish Rite degrees was manufactured degrees from what I would call religious writings or texts. It flips everything. It really, for me, I mean, you may see it a different way, but for me, it flips everything because I'm looking at it differently now. I'm not looking at, oh, these are the Scottish Rite degrees, blah, blah, blah. No, those degrees was manufactured from scriptures. And when I say scripture, I'm talking about religious texts, okay? Specifically, I'm not going to just say the Bible, but I'm just going to say religious text because it was done by Ramsey. What is this his name? Shucks, Chevalier
Right.
Ramsey. It was done by him.
Right. He allegedly influenced the creation of the Scottish Rite and I'll say France when it was the Rite of Perfection.
Correct.
25 degrees.
Right.
But here's the interesting thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I'll say to the viewers, what I've found in my study. The interesting thing about the Scottish Rite, even when it was known as the Rite of Perfection in France, right, is that a lot of the material that we find in the Scottish Rite degrees, a lot of it has come to pass in our modern time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we deal with the history of the emperor, the council of emperors of the East and West, they were trying to really take over the Blue Lodge,
Mm-hmm.
Masonry, right?
And let me hold it. I want to add something to it because what you just said was profound. The mere fact that we know that some councils practice Freemasonry from the 1 to the 33rd.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I just want to let that be known. Some councils practice 1 through 33. All right, go ahead. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Right. So initially, that was the idea. Like when they were promoting the Scottish grades or
Mm-hmm.
the higher grades, the Scottish Rite in France.
Right.
They would go to Blue Lodge Masons, and tell them that, they're higher degrees. You don't know about these degrees? Oh, you need to, get down with this because you're not learning. You ain't going to learn what Masonry is really about in the blue degrees.
Mm-hmm.
Degree 1 through 3. So, we know historically that a lot of the so-called authority of the Scottish Rite was forged, such
Mm-hmm.
as what you mentioned in your prior 2 episodes, like that Frederick, the great king of Prussia,
Right.
gave us the authority to do this. We know that's forged.
But see, you know it's forged, but a lot of people don't know that was forged. That's the thing. Go ahead, bro.
Right.
Shit, you got me all excited.
The great king of Prussia was a Mason. He was. And he was a very zealous Mason. But of course, we know that those parts are forged.
Mm-hmm.
The alleged authority of, the Scottish Rite,
Mm-hmm.
coming from King Frederick, the great king of Prussia. We know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say this. The Scottish Rite, the degree work, even though it's not as well orchestrated, in my opinion, as the red degrees, the York Rite,
Mm-hmm.
the Holy Royal Lodge, Mark Master,
Mm-hmm.
A lot of material in the Scottish Rite degrees, to me, in my opinion, are very important in Masonry, such as the idea that the Knights Templar, like we'll see this in the Knight Kadosh, right?
Mm-hmm.
The 31st degree.
3 years before I was.
The idea that the Knight Templar were in possession of certain esoteric secrets pertaining to the mystery schools and that.
And let's add to that, because once you get into the Scottish Rite body, right, we know that it's set up just like the Church of Pope. I mean, just like the Catholic Church. Well, if you're in the Scottish Rite body, it's set up identical to that. Pope is equal to the most puissant sovereign grand commander, so forth and so on down the line.
Right. So there, in my opinion, there were a lot of things in the Scottish Rite that a lot of teachings that, even though they seem far-fetched, such as, for example, for brothers that do have the Scottish Rite, we're taught in the original format of the degree, because Pike, in America, Pike revised the degrees, but he didn't stray from what he received from Robert Mackey.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He just formalized, he made the rituals more polished, in my opinion.
I will agree.
In 1801, he started up the Scottish Rite in South Carolina.
Right.
Nevertheless, the Scottish Rite degrees have some teachings that would be offensive to dogmatic religious thinkers, such as the notion that as Scottish Rite Masons, we are successors of the Knights Templar. Knights Templar were outlawed and disbanded by the Roman Catholic Church.
They were.
Right? With the assistance of
the Knights of Hospitalitors.
Yeah, right.
The Knights of Hospitalitors.
Knights Hospitalitors, right.
Yeah.
That if we should come across one of these knights of that order, we shall murder him on sight.
And this is why you have the Knights of Columbus.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So these are things that are taught in the Scottish Rite. So when we look at that in light of what's coming out from modern Masonic researchers, such as, I have to name this brother because in my opinion, he's done great research. Brother Robert Lomas.
Okay.
Who was one of the co-authors of the Hiram Key.
Oh yeah, I love that book. Oh man. But see,
yes.
even, not to get off the subject, but even in that book, he breaks down the mere even during the time of Jesus per se, they were part of their own secret society. And the mysticism behind that, because if you get into this thing, like we said before, once you get into the language, you can cast spells with language. And in Masonry, and if you look at it, it was once known as magic because of the illusion. You know how we say, what does this alludes to?
Right.
Because we do things in plain sight that other people don't really pay attention to. But if one who has been initiated sees exactly what goes on.
Yeah, plus we use a lot of wordplay that rhymes. And even in the Blue Lodge, we use a lot of wordplay that rhymes. Even in the obligation. For example, when we say, I will neither write, indict, right?
Right.
As far as, illegally writing down the secrets. A lot of the wordplay rhymes.
It does.
And that's a peculiar aspect of witchcraft in the old days of Europe. The craft known as witchcraft, they rhyme a lot, bro. We see it in
we see it in the movies all the time.
I
said we see it in movies and places all the time.
Right. even when we state things such as we use the compass to circumscribe our passion.
Mm-hmm.
That's saying that we draw a circle around ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And by drawing a circle around ourselves, we are in the center of that circle. That's something that you see in witchcraft.
Mm-hmm.
For individuals that are familiar with witchcraft.
I don't want you scaring nobody.
Yeah, no, I'm just keeping it real.
I understand. Go ahead.
Right. They draw a circle.
They do.
Around their coven.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Or their group of witches, or whatever the case may be. But the word witch simply means a wise person.
Mm-hmm.
Etymologically. But anyway, the Scottish Rite, to keep it on par with what we're talking about, the Scottish Rite.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those teachings, if we actually study the 4th degree up to the 32nd degree,
Mm-hmm.
those teachings are pretty deep, and we'll gain more insight if we study the writings of, of course, Brother Albert Pike, like, for example, Morals and Dogma, Brother Manly P. Hall.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about him in just a few minutes.
Yeah, so in my study of the Scottish Rite degrees, it's like, wow, this is deep, because it talks about stomping out, the degrees talk about stomping out the rule of the papacy,
Mm-hmm.
which is the church.
Mm-hmm.
The church under the rulership of the Pope.
Right.
Right? And expressing free thought, the freedom of thought. And when I just talked about the Knights Hospitaller, as you mentioned,
Mm-hmm.
Knights of St. John,
Mm-hmm.
they were the individuals who, when the Knights Templar were outlawed in 1312,
Mm-hmm.
can't talk about what the 33rd degree deals with. I can't. I'm not going to do that. But
Right. I understand.
right. So, without question, the Scottish Rite is heavily involved with the teaching that after the Knights Templar were outlawed by the Roman Catholic Church in affiliation with King Philip V of France,
Mm-hmm.
the Roman Catholic Church, they took whatever they could of the money, right, or
Mm-hmm.
material possessions that the Knights Templar had,
Mm-hmm.
and transferred that to the Knights of Malta or the Knights of St. John, the
Mm-hmm.
Knights Hospitallers.
Mm-hmm.
It is a historical fact. Now,
Well,
the Scottish Rite degrees
Uh-huh.
teach us in the higher degrees that they teach us certain things that you shouldn't really take literally. As if you come across a Knight of Malta,
Mm-hmm.
or a Knight Hospitaller,
Mm-hmm.
you shouldn't murder him.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that in Masonic research today, going back to what I said with Brother Robert Lomas,
Uh-huh.
who was the co-author of the Hiram Key, and he wrote several books. The brother Sharp.
Mm-hmm.
He's given lectures before the United Grand Lodge of England.
But he became a Mason after he done all of his research. He eventually ended up becoming a Mason.
Right, and he still sticks with a lot of what he said
Uh-huh.
prior. So
Mhm.
his theory, quote unquote, is that Freemasonry, the European style of Freemasonry,
Mm-hmm.
begins in Scotland with what's his name, William St. Clair,
Mm-hmm.
who was a nobleman who built Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And if you study the architecture of that church, right,
Mm-hmm.
without a doubt, that church, you can visit it.
Is that the one you call Warswell? I'm mispronouncing.
Yeah, Rosslyn Chapel.
Yes.
Now, if you visit that church, which you can do, anybody can do it.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you have a passport, go out there. It doesn't cost a lot of money. Go out there and visit it.
Mm-hmm.
that chapel
Mm-hmm.
is full of not only Masonic symbolism, but a whole bunch of so-called pagan symbolism.
It is.
So, if inside of that chapel, right,
Mm-hmm.
there lies the tomb of
A Knights of Templar, right?
William St. Clair, the individual who was the builder,
Now,
the individual who organized the building of that chapel.
now, I was also, I was also, I looked at a picture where there was a a tomb also in there with the Knights Templar sword on top of that.
That's William St. Clair's
Okay.
tomb.
Okay.
That's on it.
Okay.
Knight Templar.
It says, yeah, it does. It does say that on there.
It's there.
Mm-hmm.
That's irrefutable. It says Knight Templar.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, when you read that brother's books, and he lectures a lot about the subject, like, listen, man, there's no doubt about it. That temple was built in the 1400s.
Mm-hmm.
That chapel, the 1400s. And he shows carvings. Like, there's a carving in the temple, I think it's in the southwest, if I'm not mistaken. It's in the southwest of that chapel, of a man kneeling down with a cable tow around his neck.
It has that one. It also has the one with the two riders.
Yeah.
You know, the two horsemen, and they said that when, you know, it was Knights Templar, they rode and yeah.
Right. So he's saying, like, let's be serious, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Masonry was already being practiced that far back in Scotland in the 1400s.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we know as far as the lodge system and free organization, the records of lodge meetings are older in Scotland than they are in England.
They are.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
So what he tries to demonstrate is that William St. Clair and the St. Clair family, they brought knowledge of the ancient Egyptian mysteries into Scotland, and that they organized.
That's all. That's where I was headed. You beat me to the finish line. That's where I was going to end up at. You're absolutely right. Absolutely.
So he says, like, look, this is what they were doing. Then later on, that's why I said, like, the last two episodes of your show were very good. I loved it.
Mm-hmm. So check this out.
Yeah.
So when you know all of this information, and we know that even the Jews played a part in it. Let's just keep it real. They did. The Protestants played. Look at how those people who are of the faith or religious part play a part in Freemasonry. And we say, well, we don't get involved with that. It's already there. It is truly already there. It was there in the beginning. And it really hasn't gone anywhere. We just claim that we don't really discuss it. But it's there. So when you look at the Prince Masons, the Prince Masons in Charleston, who were the first, they was first Jews, right? They was all Jews. And they weren't even satisfied with the fact that you had the 25 degrees of the Rite of Perfection. They added 8 more, and they made, you know as well as I know how that went down, because then the Civil War was beginning to take place. Now check this out. The funny thing is that Mason was so strong, so powerful at that time, till it divided the Supreme Council. That's why you have one Northern and one Southern. That's the only reason why. And they just about maybe 10 years ago was the first time that those two councils actually met and came together. You know.
Right. And even with, like I tell brothers, even with Brother John D. Jones, he used to communicate with Brother Albert Pike when Albert Pike became the Supreme Grand Commander. Albert Mackey left it to Albert Pike, the Supreme Council of the Southern Jurisdiction for the United States. And Brother Albert Pike, he used to write and correspond with Brother John D. Jones, because Brother John D. Jones was the head of the Black Scottish Rite, so to speak, in America.
Well, you know you're gonna have something to debate you on that. Now you know some out there waiting. They was waiting on you to come at them like they was waiting. But even with
it's a fact, bro.
but even with that being said, even Albert Pike himself have stated that the rites themselves was made up. He even said it, and I can quote you on it in just a second. As soon as I can find it, I can quote you on it, and that blew me away. The mere fact that from 1801 to 1869 they have no records.
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
None.
Where did I just? I don't know if it was on your show. Where did I just hear that? I just heard that recently, man.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe in alignment with your show, but long story short, the gist of it is that he stated that they have no records from the time period that you stated.
Mm-hmm.
And that the reason that they have no records is that they destroyed them. Like, that's it. We don't have them. We destroyed them.
And I can tell you why they destroyed them. In my own, now this is just my opinion, and I know everybody got one, but because of what they was, look, Albert Pike being a Freemason at that time, it meant something. Being a Mason at the time meant something. So he was involved with war. Okay, he was a general. He was an it factor during that time. And you got to look at it. Jefferson was along that time. You had John Adams. Those guys were Masons. Okay, and you got to look at the work that they put into this thing, and it meant something to them. That's why Albert Pike was never brought up on treason.
That's true.
He was never brought up on treason.
Even though he had to what did he have to do? He had to pay a certain fine to, I'm trying to think of who was the president at his time. I think it was
Andrew Jackson.
Or one of them, Andrew Jackson, if I'm not mistaken.
It was Andrew Jackson, and Andrew Jackson was a Mason, and not only that, General Jackson, he was a Mason, and not only that, like I said in my last show, his whole cabinet was honorary Masons, and they was part of what they called the Federal Lodge, which was in the city of Washington.
Right.
So go ahead.
Yeah, but anyway, that's what happened with Brother Pike. They made him pay some type of fines or whatever, but he was, released from prison
and went on about his life.
Right.
Basically, that's what he did. Now, check this out.
Right.
So, and this is coming out of the Scottish Rite Volume 1. And I read it before, but it's a tree. It excites me when I see it. It says, we have seen from its history, given by its own authors, that the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite is not ancient, but modern. Not accepted, but invented. Not Scottish, but French. Because that's where it comes from. And so, one continuous falsehood, but in most relevant future are not yet drawn. And then it goes on to say, destroying the records and encompassing crime. It is written in complaint that the early English lodges recorded were destroyed, doubtless, lest there were secret proceedings should be brought into the courts. That's why they destroyed the records.
Oh, wow.
And then it goes on to break it down. It says, but the Charleston Supreme Council destroyed its proceedings for more than a half a century. From 1801 to 1860, there is no records of its existence. But we know that it was organized in 1801. We know that. And then your boy Albert Pike in 1878, this is what he said. I am often asked, why do we not publish our old transactions? To which I'm compelled to reply that we have none to publish. We have no records of transactions of Charleston from 1801 to 1860. What minutes we have, we destroyed them.
Right, that's the quote that I heard earlier. I don't know if I heard it from you or
You know.
Yeah, that's what I was
So,
referring to.
so the question you have to ask yourself, and what we're really missing in Freemasonry, is that, you know, when people say Masonry is trying to take over the world, I don't think necessarily it's trying to take over the world. I just think there are Masons who have particular jobs or in particular positions of authority, and it's a lot of them, and it looks that way. That's my conclusion. But you know as well as I know the bond and the obligation and the oath that we take as Mason joins and binds us together. Some people may say, well, Hawkins, that doesn't include you because you're clandestine or irregular, but it does. You know, and I'm just talking facts. And if you look at it and see it for what it is, that's truth. But a lot of us can't face that.
Yeah, look at it this way, right? Even with Brother Albert Pike in those days, the days in which he was the Supreme Grand Commander of the Southern Jurisdiction, the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite. He was pretty tight with Brother John G. Jones, and he had rapport with Thornton Jackson. He did. That's a fact. And none of his communications with them demonstrate in any way that he considered them to be other than Freemasons. Nothing.
Well,
Acknowledge them as that. And even in his writings, when he talks about so-called Negro lodges, quote unquote, he says there's nothing different.
Right.
Like there's nothing different about what they practice from what the white lodges practice. These are things in his writings.
Right.
So that goes to show you right there, like.
Well, I'm going to answer this question. I'm going to answer this question. Now, this brother said on here, he says, you have to say, the order of the Knights Templar requires one to be a Christian. And Traveler Man, you are absolutely right. The ideal is most of us ignore it. The Traveler Man is right. It is required that you be a Christian. Let me tell you why. Because when you take the there's the Apostle Creed. If you are a Christian, and especially if you've gone to any other Catholic churches, you're going to say the Apostle Creed. And if you are Knights of Templars in the United States, you have said the Apostle Creed. And probably some of you don't even know what the Apostle Creed is. I know I had to say it.
Right, but here's the thing. Here's the thing to keep in mind. When a Knight Templar existed, right, as a sanctioned organization under the Roman Catholic Church, they were a holy order.
Right.
Right. If anybody goes to Catholic Church or they frequent Catholic churches, they'll understand the concept of a holy order. Right.
Because they have a holy order, the Knights of Columbus.
Right. Today. I'm saying in terms of the whole history of the Catholic Church. When the Knight Templar were operating, right, we're talking about the year 1119 AD, right, which is when they're supposed to have been founded, right? The Catholic Church was the world power. This is why when you take individuals, like especially in America today, right, they take it for granted that ancient people were the same as we are in America today. In America's a democracy. Even though there's political BS in America.
It's supposed to be a republic, but we keep saying democracy. But yeah, go ahead, I'm with you.
Whatever, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, bro.
Yeah, in America, you can profess to be whatever you want.
Whatever you want.
You're not going to get arrested for saying, oh yeah, I'm a Muslim. I'm a Jew. I'm a Christian. I'm an atheist. Nobody's going to arrest you for that here. But in the time in which the Knight Templar originated, which is 1119 AD, and some record it as 1118 AD, the Roman Church, the papacy, was the world power.
It was. And check this out. to add to what you're saying, is that, you know, when foreign dignitaries go see the Pope, we've all seen them bow and kiss the hand.
Yeah.
We've seen them.
Right. Today, they're considered a sovereign power.
Absolutely.
The world, the Vatican.
And the Vatican ain't it is not that big.
Right. So the point is that when the Knight Templar were organized, 1119 AD, some say 1118 AD, they organized as a holy order under the Roman Catholic Church. Now, as far as what Masonry is teaching us, is that especially the Scottish Rite, and more especially the degree of Knight Kadosh, is that the Knight Templar were really mystics under the Roman Catholic Church, and they had secret teaching. Now, do you expect that the Knight Templar were going to go out and...
No, they weren't going to share that information.
Of course not, because it would be illegal. People act like they don't know about the Inquisition, the Inquisitions of the Roman Catholic Church during the Dark Ages. Crazy, bro. The Roman Catholic
The
Church,
Apostle Creed.
they send the Inquisition out, and if you're teaching anything that's other than Christianity, they burn you at the stake.
They did.
Murder you. So Masonry is teaching us that, the Scottish Rite at least, is teaching us that the Knight Templar, they were a holy order under the Roman Catholic Church, but that they had the esoteric doctrine, they had the esoteric teaching, and that they were teaching these things amongst themselves. This is why once they did get put under scrutiny by the Inquisition, King Philip V said that the Knight Templar are really pagans. They're worshiping strange deities, right? They're teaching things that are against the Christian religion, and they're heretics. That's what happened with the Knight Templar. So this is why they got outlawed, because they had the individuals that were against the Knight Templar had the support of King Philip V. And it's strange because King Philip V was from France, right? So you had to put two and two together. Even when you see that the beginnings of the Scottish Rite, the Rite of Perfection, comes from France, right?
Go ahead.
Tell you something. France. King Philip V was the king of France. He took over the papacy and he appointed his own pope. He crushed the Knight Templar. This is why the people of France, right, were always continuing that tradition that the Knight Templar were really mystics that held a secret doctrine, and that the papacy, in alignment with King Philip V of France, crushed them for economic reasons. Because the Knight Templar were the main bankers in Europe. That's another fact of history.
Okay.
They controlled the banking system.
Right. They said that they brought in the banking system because they was how wealthy they were, and that the Catholic Church got pretty jealous about the wealth that they had accumulated.
They controlled the banking system. That King Philip V of France, he felt, according to history, and this is explained in the Scottish Rite degrees. Remember though that individuals in the mainstream, oftentimes they're not going to go through degree number 4 up to 32. They're not. They're just going to advance all the way up to the 32nd degree, Sublime Prince of the Royal Secret.
So for those, my question is how many individuals out here are Knights Templars, and have they taken the Apostle Creed? That's my question. How many of you have taken the Apostle Creed? You know, you can put yes.
In the York Rite.
Huh? Yeah, I'm talking on the York Rite side. Because in order to be a Knights of Templar, you have had to have taken the Knights, the Apostle Creed. If you did not take the Apostle Creed, That's because your Knights Templar probably didn't know what they was doing. But anyway, I'm just saying.
But let's still look at the connection though. Let's look at the connection of the fact that you have the Knight Templar degree in the York Rite side of things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the Knight Templar in the Scottish Rite,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
In regards to Knight Kadosh.
Right.
Now, look at what the Knight Templar ritual teaches you in the York Rite, and then look at what the Knight Templar ritual teaches you in regards to the Knight Kadosh
Mm-hmm.
and in the Scottish Rite.
Mm-hmm.
And you'll have a better understanding. If you think that Masonry is teaching you, you have to, put it this way, like I said, if you think that the Knight Templar were, the historical Knight Templar, were really Christians in a dogmatic sense,
No,
then
I
it's
don't.
lost.
I don't think they was Christians in a dogmatic sense. I'm saying when these rites had joined together as we know it today, they put that into play. It was put into play.
Right. So this is why I said the Scottish Rite is very important. And
Mm-hmm.
study it. You study the degree of Knight Kadosh in the Scottish Rite.
Mm-hmm.
The Scottish Rite is very clear that, listen, the papacy, the Roman Church,
Mm-hmm.
dogmatic Christianity,
Mm-hmm.
committed an offense against the Knight Templar. This is very clear in the Scottish Rite teachings.
Right. So.
And not just that, even if you study secular history,
Mm-hmm.
you'll have an understanding of that.
So let's look at this thing we call the Apostle Creed real quick, because I know people, some don't even know what the Apostle Creed is. So let's look at it. So the Apostle Creed says, I believe in God the Father Almighty, the creator of heaven and earth, and Jesus Christ, his only Son, our Lord, who was conceived by the Holy Spirit, born of the Virgin Mary, suffered under Pontius Pilate, was crucified, died, and was buried. He descended into hell, and on the third day he rose again from the dead. He ascended into heaven, and sitteth on the right hand of God the Father Almighty. He shall come and judge the living and the dead. I believe in the Holy Spirit, the Holy Catholic Church, the communion of saints, and the forgiveness of sins, the resurrection of the body, and life everlasting. Amen. That's just one instance of the Apostle Creed. And then it goes on and says, the Apostle Creed is a brief statement of our core belief as Catholics. Now think about it. Presbyterian, Methodists come out of the Catholic Church and they say the Apostle Creed.
Right.
They do. I've gone to a Methodist church. They say the Apostle Creed. I'm a member of a Presbyterian church and we say the Apostle Creed. It's and I don't know how many people actually go and indulge themselves and look at this thing we call Freemasonry and see how involved it is into our society. So go ahead. I just wanted to point that out. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Yeah. Let us remember, even if for the brothers that watch the channel,
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite books of all time of Freemasonry. This is probably my favorite book.
Mm-hmm.
Mystic Masonry. By brother J.D. Buck,
Mm-hmm.
who was a sublime prince of the royal secret in the northern jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote a few books, but his all-time classic book is called Mystic Masonry.
Mm-hmm.
That brother, when he's going into that book, he talks about that.
Okay.
Listen, man, with the York Rite, even though he was a Scottish Rite Mason, he's like, Masonry is not dogmatic. He's like, the Knight Templar degree in the York Rite should be outlawed because it's telling you, in other words, that you should be a Christian.
Mm-hmm.
What?
It does.
All you have to do is read the book.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, nah, that's not Masonic. Freemasonry is for men of all.
But this is why you have some brothers who are various faiths choose to go one way versus the other way.
Right. And then we have to also
Uh-huh.
There's a history to that too, in the same way that there's a history to the Scottish Rite.
Mm-hmm.
The York Rite per se was really a construct of Thomas Smith Webb,
Mm-hmm.
who was pretty much responsible for formalizing the blue degree rituals for America during the Boston Convention matter.
Okay.
Wrote the Webb's Monitor of Freemasonry.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the viewers have the book.
Right.
He formalized the ritual, and he orchestrated what we call the York Rite in America today. Even though those degrees, loosely, as side degrees, they existed in Europe before they did in America.
Yes.
Templar,
and this is why
that existed over there.
And this is why when you go overseas or anywhere outside of the United States and you go to these various degrees, they are different than they are here.
Mm-hmm.
But brothers think it's the same. Those degrees are different. You leave the United States and you go travel as a Scottish Rite Mason outside of the boundaries, the degree work is different. It is not the same. It is, I would say it has the DNA in it, for lack of a better word. But you can't go in there and say this is identical to what I do over in the States. It is not.
Right. Even the third degree ritual under the United Grand Lodge of England, GLE, all you have to do is good to travel. Like go over there, go to England if you can, and visit lodges over there. But if you can't do that under your circumstances, just get their ritual work. It's called the emulation work.
Mm-hmm.
They publish the ritual. It's in cipher. It's in cipher.
Right.
If you're a Mason, you can understand it.
You can get. Hey, if you're a Mason, you got a cipher. It's good reading, and you can leave that anywhere.
Right. So it's in cipher, but if you're a Mason, you can understand the cipher. But the point I'm making is that with the UGLE lodges, their Master Mason's ritual is not like ours in America. It's not. It's similar, but it's not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like here, when we talk about the trowel is not a tool in the Master Mason's ritual of the United Grand Lodge of England. It's not. They have the tools that they use, and anybody can look this up. They have the scarret, the pencil, and it's another tool. The scarret, the pencil, and the compass. That's the three tools for the Master Mason's ritual. The United Grand Lodge of England to this day.
Mm-hmm.
The scarret, the pencil, and the scarret, the pencil, and the compass. And they give moral meanings to those three tools. How they do the ritual of the murder of the master builder is not how we do it here. It's similar, but it's not the same. It's not drawn out how we do it here.
Right.
It's similar, but it's not the same. Believe that. Like I said, for any brother that studies it, it's called the emulation ritual.
Uh-huh.
And I have the emulation ritual. I share it with brothers, but if they want to get the book that's published by the United Grand Lodge of England, it's a little blue book. It's like a pocket book. It has the hardcover, and it has the square and compass indented in the front. It doesn't say anything on the cover. It's a dark blue cover. It has the square and compass indented. And when you open the book, it gives you the first degree, the second degree, and the third degree. And in the middle, it has the tracing boards, the 3 degrees, and the apprentice, fellow craft, and master mason. Ciphered for the most part.
Oh, wow. So you have that, right?
Absolutely.
So you know me and you going to talk.
Yeah, absolutely. So, like, with me, like, I have a lot of books in PDF format, and I can send it. I have the book physically, but also I have it in PDF format.
Uh-huh.
So I can send it to brothers. Okay, boom, this is the work of the United Grand Lodge of England. It's very similar. It's not that different, but it Masonic ways.
Right.
You know? So it will let brothers know. Just like I state sometimes when I talk on the show, they don't have traveling cards over there. They don't have dues cards.
Mm-hmm.
They don't use that. They use so-called ancient customs.
Mm-hmm.
With
So
them,
either you are or you're not, in other words.
right, but with them, like today, of course, they're more organized, the United Grand Lodge of England. So
Mm-hmm.
they're going to look in their book. If you say, you know, I hail from such and such lodge, under such and such Grand Lodge, the secretary's going to look in the book and see, like, okay, let me see if this is the lodge. Let me see if this lodge is in amity with us.
Right.
You know, and they may ask you for a dues card granted because they know how America operates
Mm-hmm.
in most instances. But they were visiting lodges under the Grand Lodge of England in those
Mm-hmm.
days.
Well,
They would go there and they would just try them according at that time. This was
Mm-hmm.
before the United Grand Lodge of England started.
well,
They would test them.
I'm gonna say this, and this is totally off subject. I just want to send a big shout out to the Grand Lodge of Florida, Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Florida, Ancient Free and Accepted Masons. Been hitting me up, brothers. I appreciate the call. I just want to let that go. Okay, we can move on.
All right, cool, yeah. So, you just reminded me though, like with the movie Rosewood.
Uh-huh.
I love that movie. It's like you see that with the because they have a Prince Hall Lodge there, but it says Ancient Free and Accepted Mason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you remember in different scenes of the movie,
Uh-huh.
but you know Prince Hall is really a 3-letter. But in the movie,
It wasn't 3-letter at first.
Huh?
I said it wasn't 3-letter at first.
Yeah, so, but in the movie, you know, the movie Rosewood,
Uh-huh.
it takes place in Florida.
Right.
It says Prince Hall Lodge, such and such, Ancient Free and Accepted Mason.
Correct.
In the movie. So you just reminded me of that in terms of Florida.
Okay. Okay.
And that Grand Lodge. So, yeah,
So
bro. So, God is right. It's deep like that, man.
it is deep like that. It is really deep like that. I'm gonna share this with you tonight. We have our we have a book that we use for our Scottish Rite degree work, and I like it because of the way it's broken down. I should have my hands right on it, but I don't. I may have to come back and find it, and I'll probably find it afterwards. Don't you just hate it when you do stuff like that? You find stuff afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm still looking for it. But you can go ahead and talk, bro, while I kind of look over here and see if I see it. I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
So this is a study guide, right? This is our study guide right here. For our ancient accepted Scottish. It's a study guide. We actually have the not Leicester's. We actually have the Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2, but this is basically our study guide right here. And in this study guide, what we did is that we put the York Rite and Scottish Rite, every degree in it, short form for study. And we broke it down into what the degrees means, the signs, the symbols, all of that. That's how we did it in this particular book here. And the reason we did it that way is because it was easier for a brother to grasp exactly what the degree work means. Like, for instance, if I wanted to go into the Royal Arch Mason, right? It in here just tells you exactly what the degree is supposed to be teaching, right? It says like it'll say the Royal Arch Mason is the Royal Arch Mason, the Mark Master, Past Master, Most Excellent Master, Royal Arch, right? Then it breaks down what each degree is supposed to be teaching, and then it goes into the grips, the signs, and words. But we always encourage brother to make sure they have a Scottish Rite Volume 1 and 2 because that's a good book to have.
Let me ask you this, brother.
Go ahead.
Hawkins, right?
Uh-huh.
All right, with brother Sutton, right?
Uh-huh.
I know he's gonna study more. You heard? I know he's gonna go deeper. All right.
Uh-huh.
You see how with let's say the mainstream Scottish Rite.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times they'll publish something similar to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And say, the 4th degree teaches this of the Scottish Rite. The 5th degree teaches this. The 6th degree teaches this. 7th degree teaches this, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from my studies, compared to what the mainstream would say, a lot of times I'm like, no, what the hell is that? That doesn't even match.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me. So, let's say, I'll give you an example. Let's say with the 6th degree, right? And I'm not going to talk about tokens or anything like that.
You're talking about the intimate secrets?
Yeah, intimate secretary.
Oh, secretary. Okay.
Right. So now, from my studies of the 6th degree,
Mm-hmm.
simple degree, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very simple. But you, the initiate, right?
Uh-huh.
You as the initiate, you eavesdrop upon what King Solomon and King Hiram of Tyre are discussing, right?
Right.
King Hiram of Tyre is beefing with King Solomon
Uh-huh.
about payment that was given to King Hiram by
Mm-hmm.
King Solomon, right? So
Okay.
as the initiate, you trying to look out for King Solomon, so you're eavesdropping upon what they're talking about. Now, King Hiram, he discovers that you're at the door eavesdropping,
Uh-huh.
right? And he wants to kill you.
Mm.
Or you eavesdropping.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls you in to be executed.
Uh-huh.
Eavesdropping. And King Solomon spares you. And because you're King Solomon's favorite,
Mm-hmm.
King Solomon spares you. And you come in and you take an obligation to say that you're the intimate secretary to this contract between King Solomon and King Hiram of Tyre.
Mm-hmm.
Become the substitute for Hiram Abiff, because according to that degree, Hiram Abiff was dead at the time.
And not only that, if you get into astrology or the zodiac sign, that degree comes upon the Virgo.
Indeed.
It does. That degree comes upon the sign Virgo
Okay.
or Virgin.
You're like,
But go ahead.
like, I'm not familiar with that part. I always know that there's deep esoteric meaning to all of the Scottish Rite degrees. But
It is.
with that degree, for example, what
Mhm.
I get out of it is that you, as the favorite of Solomon, once you take the oath to be a party to this Trinity, there's 3 of you. You become, to me, it's the same thing we're taught in the blue degrees,
Mm-hmm.
which is that you are Hiram Abiff. You're the substitute. You not just the substitute, but you are Hiram Abiff.
Mm-hmm.
So you become a party to that. Dealing
Okay.
between those 2 original Grand Masters, King Hiram of Tyre, King Solomon. So you take the place of Hiram Abiff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot, there were deeper teachings to that, but the point I'm making is that even though that degree, the 6th degree is simple,
Mm-hmm.
it's very profound to me.
And not only and just to add to that, not only that, if you even take a mere look at what you say when you get your obligation, and when you are obligated in this degree, or even gone through the initiation, and you look at what you're saying in that degree, you even say that you would seek to know the misery and the wrong of the people and strive to find remedy.
Right.
You know, so even in this degree, you're sworn to help and to aid. I'm just saying, I just, man, when you get into it, I mean, the ideal is how many people actually go and get into this degree work.
Right, yeah, so it's deep. I'm just saying all of what I'm saying to express that. Sometimes what I read in the mainstream, I'm like, nah, the degree is a little bit deeper than that. And that, like with intimate secretary, the words mean something. The word intimate means something.
It does, because in this degree, your obligation is a contract. Think about that. Not like the previous degrees. In this degree, it's a contract. Something to think about.
There's a whole lot. Secretary means something. And the word secretary, I see in the word secretary the word secret. You heard?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I see that in the word.
Intimate secretary. The word is secret. That is in. Yeah.
So, what I get from it, that particular degree, is that I see the same teaching that we're taught in the Master Mason degree, which is that God is a Trinity, and that God is one. The universe, in other words, is one thing, but manifest as three: active energy, passive energy, and neutral energy. So. I look at everything in that degree, such as the beef between Solomon and Hiram. Like, they're beefing. You know, Hiram is like, okay, you're giving me some type of reward for me helping you that.
Hey, could you tell, do you know what neater means? Neder.
I know about MET, or like in Greek, which is measurement.
Spell it again now.
METER is like measurement in Greek.
No, this one is NEDER.
No, that sounds like it's Egyptian.
I'm gonna have to look that one up. It's interesting. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
Right, so it's like with the Scottish Rite degrees, man, in light of a lot of the research that's coming out now, like with, Brother Robert Lomas, I'm like, wow, not for nothing, even though it might seem like it was bullcrap, what the Scottish Rite degrees are claiming about, the Knight Templar fleeing into Scotland to preserve their teachings of the mysteries.
Okay, so the word neder, NEDER, is in Judaism. The word is a declaration using the name of God of the acceptance of self-made pledge, stating that the pledge must be fulfilled with the same importance, as Hanukkah.
Nice.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Why did you bring it up though? Like, what?
Because I want you to go check it out.
Oh, in the 6th degree?
In the 6th degree, I want you to go check it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, and there's another word I want you to look at too while you're doing that, and that word is going to be birth, BERITH. Okay then, all right. So we on the same page. That I was looking at both of those words. I'm like, okay, all right. I see why they.
Counsel, well, I appreciate that without question. I'll definitely do that. And,
Brother Morgan said King Solomon paid King Hiram with the current of Gilead. Christ and his disciples went around 3 times. Oh, okay. I thought they went around 7 times. Could have been 3, but I thought it was 7. All right. I was just reading something somebody posted. So look, I'm not gonna hold you on. Go ahead. Say what now?
No, I terms, bro, that is deep. Everything that's in those degrees, bro, I'm sure that those things are there for no reason.
They're not. The ideal is how do you take them and apply them today? I mean, granted, I said there was a big fat lie because of the way it was structured and set up and sold and taxed and did all of that. That's a fact. I never said that the degree work wasn't important. So all I'm saying is how do you take this and apply this in today? Because what happens is what we do now is what I think and what I see is that we do what is called a watered down type of Freemasonry. You know, unlike what you've told me about the work that you guys do, which is pretty damn deep. But based upon what I know in regards to other brothers and their jurisdictions and the places I've gone, that's including Prince Hall, Modern Free Internet. I'm talking about how it's watered down, and they don't get into that type of degree work and study. And I think that when you don't, you miss out on a whole lot of stuff, and you miss out on why people say what they say in regards to Freemasonry and how it has its hands on a lot of things in America. That's it in a nutshell. So, you got anything else you need to add tonight, brother?
Nah, bro. I've learned a lot, and I'm definitely going to that 6th degree a little bit deeper here without rushing it, because I have the ritual here, so I'm gonna go into it.
Oh yeah, go into it. Brandon Lewis says people have missed the third eye all in the Bible. It tells you kingdoms and seek it first. They die to get to a place that is already there in them. They do. They dying to go somewhere that they're already at. But hey, that's another day's topic right there. So, you got anything else you want to add before I close the show?
So, let me just say to the viewers, the brothers, and the sisters, the peace and greetings to the East. Love your Masonry, see the value in it, and study and improve yourself is great. Freemasonry is valuable, at least to me. It's the best. For me, it's the best system of instruction as far as knowledge and wisdom for me, not speaking for anybody else, for me, that has improved my mind and improved my soul as an individual. So I would say value Freemasonry on my show, and always learn, improve yourself. That's it, seek the light.
Do it. Get in it. Don't let it go. Hold on to it. So I'm gonna sign off as I always do. Keep your light on and stay out the bushes. Appreciate you calling in, brother. Unlock. Hey, you gotta text me your number again, man. There's just a reminder. All right?
Got you, brother. All right.
All right, peace. Later. Looks like I'm still on this thing. Can't close it out.